What's going on, everybody? Welcome to RASSLIN Down Here, episode 2. As you can see, a very special guest with me this evening. Everyone, please welcome the Impact, Jeremy York. Jeremy, welcome to RASSLIN Down Here. How you doing tonight, pal?
I am doing spectacular. Anytime anybody basically a brother in this business to me says, "Hey, you want to come on and talk wrestling?" Absolutely. And then, given the subject matter, I absolutely want to talk about what we're going to talk about.
Just to let the cat out of the bag, what he is talking about that we're going to be talking about, easy for me to say, is Beltline Mania. We're going to be talking about day one. Today, the powers that be at Deep South Wrestling released the official card, which, remember, Jeremy, is subject to change. Now,
Always.
what we're going to do here is talk about that for a second. Now, you've been to plenty independent wrestling shows and you've seen the card released many times before, and showing up, things have changed. Explain how that could affect or not affect the actual performance for the workers and maybe the fans.
All right. As with anything, as with anybody in their daily normal jobs, obviously people can be sick, family things can happen. The number one thing that normally happens in the wrestling business that shakes up cards is travel issues.
Yep.
Yep, they have to deal with the same traffic, the same airplanes, the same space shuttles that all the rest of us do, except for they're coming from across the country sometimes. And then there's the occasional just things happen. But most of the time, travel issues are what cause wrinkles in cards. And it's just part of daily life. And just know that when you show up, whatever's advertised may not be what you see. It may be better.
Bingo. You kind of hit the nail on the head. You brought my point right home. I set it up for you and you knocked it right out of the park. Listen, a lot of times if the card is forced to change, usually the promotion does what they can do to make what was supposed to be or what's going to be new better than what was supposed to be. Now, with that being said, there's no guarantees that this is going to happen, but with this being, I mean, what I'm about to show you guys, if you haven't seen before, this quite honestly, I mean, it's day one, and we do have, like I told you before, a sneak peek behind the curtain. I do know the card for night two, but
Hmm.
there hasn't been an official release yet, so maybe I don't even know of changes so far. So we're really not going to talk about that except for the two matches that we know are etched in stone. So tonight we will definitely talk about the card for day one, which, Jeremy, you when I sent it to you, your response was, "My gosh!" Basically, in better terms, "My God, what a card this is!"
Yeah. I mean, this is put in the cheat code of your favorite video game and get unlock all the superstars and characters because that right there is just wicked sick. I mean, that for people who don't know, that is like going to the Georgia Wrestling History Awards show and handpicking names out of a hat, and you get that star level.
And you know, you're so right. I mean, literally from top to bottom, we've got Carly Bravo, Austin Towers, Aaron Dallas, Ryan Rembrandt, which you can't see right here on the card. But Jeremy, Aaron Dallas and Ryan Rembrandt will be for the New Realm Championship, which finally we'll get to see Ryan Rembrandt defend that title against an opponent with, you know, if you don't know the history with Ryan Rembrandt, who is, my God, what a physique and what an incredible in-ring athlete, what an incredible technician. He's held that title since its debut in Deep South Wrestling last year. And remember, Jeremy, they had the breathalyzer rule, which from
Yep.
what I'm told, that's thrown out. Now it's mano
Okay.
a mano, no more breathalyzer thing, which was fun. Look, it was fun. I would love to see that brought back, but in time, in the right situation, I think with Aaron Dallas and Ryan Rembrandt, along with a couple of more matches this weekend, it really could be a show stealer.
I mean, it could. And like you said, just like that other big company did over the weekend, they had the big 2-day event. All of a sudden, Deep South says, you know what? We can do that too, and we can do it better because we're doing it on the Atlanta Beltline. And we're doing it at two of the best venues to have events at in New Realm Brewery and Monday Night Garage. Obviously, we'll talk about them another time.
Yeah.
But
You've
yeah,
been to both
it's
locations. You've seen us
yes,
at both locations. So you know the difference. You know what I mean? And I don't want to cut you off. I want to, kind of emphasize a little bit kind of heavy on the fact that you've seen both show types. What would you
mm-hmm.
comparing one to the other, not what's better or what's worse, with the Beltline field being outside, depending upon the weather, I think you can agree with me, pretty much an unbeatable location as far as proximity in the city, proximity on the belt line. New Realm, the beer is fantastic, and I don't care what anyone says. I don't think they have cooks. I think they have chefs because the food
Agree.
is fantastic as well. I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's ass. I'm being serious because the first thing I do when I get there is, of course, get a beer. Shout out to the Hazy Like a Fox Brewers, and one of their burgers because it's so good. Now, compared to Monday night, the best part about that is you don't have to worry about what happens with Mother Nature. You're
Right.
indoors. The show is guaranteed to go on no matter what. Now, with that being said, we do try our best to put it on no matter what at New Realm, but you know what I mean. It's a completely different animal.
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes I would say that the weather has heightened some of the events there. Like even
Yes.
if it's freezing cold, even if it's rain, even if it's both, just it seems like I'm not going to compare it to the military because it's not like that at all. But it's almost like that we survived something together. Now let's enjoy and embrace what these women and gentlemen are doing in the ring here. It's the least we can do. But yeah, like you're saying with New Realm, you get more of a I don't want to diminish it, but more of like a fairgrounds, more of a carnival,
I see what
more
you're
of
saying.
a because you can get anybody walking up on the boardwalk like that. It's just you never know what kind of crowd you're going to get, and every crowd seems to just really enjoy it. Where Monday night, like you said, is more of the intimate. It kind of sets the scene, kind of like having backgrounds like this. It just kind
Yeah.
of sets this mood, like something's about to go down here, like an underground, some sort of underground movement, and I want to be a part of it. So you kind of get a little bit of both. They're both fantastic venues, and man, these are incredible cards.
No, for sure. And to add on to piggyback on top of the Monday night hype, you've got the big screen in the background,
Mm-hmm.
which shows live action. It is our home for live YouTube streaming, and that dark ambiance kind of feels like late '80s Jim Crockett Promotions, NWA house
Yeah.
show style, and it kind of brings everyone together. But yeah, on to business, Jeremy. On to the reason why we're here. We'll show it to everyone one more time, even bigger and better than ever than last time. There it is, the
Yep.
card for day one, Beltline Mania. I'll read it to you from top to bottom. Like I said before, making his Deep South Wrestling debut. Can't believe this is real. 1/3 of the Ring of Honor. I said trios champion on the post for the show, but I do believe Ring of Honor still calls it six-man tag team
6 man.
champions.
It's
He'll be
6 man
taking
in Ring of Honor.
on, am I right about that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He'll be taking on the Big Chief, Austin Towers, who's had quite a year so far in Deep South Wrestling. More on that in a little bit. And what we already talked about, one half of the Wonder Boys. Shout out to Ethan. According to Aaron, Ethan should be
Yep.
cleared sometime next month. We talked
Yep.
about it at the Atlanta Dairies Cream of the Crop show. He said that doctor should clear him next month, but they're going to take it one step at a time, not rush anything. I don't know about you, but that kid puts on a little bit more muscle and he gains a little bit more knowledge as far as life. He's going to be
Yeah.
one hell. He already is, but he's going to be
Yeah.
one hell of an in-ring performer. We saw him first start out in West Georgia at Bullpen. So real quick,
Yep.
shout out to Ethan. Hopefully he gets healthy soon. His big brother, Aaron, will be challenging Ryan Rembrandt, a member of Strength in Numbers. Don't forget that, Jeremy. Member of Strength in Numbers, Ryan Rembrandt, who is the New Realm champion. He will be defending that title against Aaron Dallas. Cosmo Martinez. Cosmo, the last few shows, speaking of cards subject to change, Cosmo, who's a hard worker, it's really difficult for him to have the
Yes.
time to get off at work. And when he can, he always shows up and puts on a show. He unfortunately drew the short stick on the afternoon because he's taking on Walking Devastation, arriving on Air Force Diggs, Lamar Diggs, who Jeremy, he he's been on a path of destruction since the beginning of the number one contender tournament. We saw him and Mims go to war at New Realm late last month. Eager to see what Diggs and Cosmo have in store for us. And this one, we talked earlier today. You're asking if you needed to know anything about Cream of the Crop. And I said it was a great show, but not too much culminated at that show that kind of marched over into this weekend, except for this one.
Yep.
After we did the drawing for the spring challenge, shout out to Hollywood Hunter James, 2025 Georgia Wrestler of the Year. He won the first ever Atlanta Dairy Spring Challenge. After we announced the Spring Challenge members and their entry, and we spoke with the tag team champions, Jay Alpha Miller and Akeem Young, Gemma came out. And Jeremy, her and Rose went to a double disqualification. Nick Patrick, well, it wasn't really a double DQ. It was a double pin. And one female kicked another referee, another female kicked another referee. So we had two referees out. There was a pinfall. Whoa, both shoulders were down. Referees couldn't figure. I saw Rose get the 1, 2, 3. Nathan saw Gemma, but that's neither here nor there. One official saw one saw the other. And watching it live back home, I get a text message from Nick, and Nick says, look, he is tired of all of the shenanigans. He's tired of the champions pretending they run the place. And with the Deep South Women's Championship, the only thing that's for sure, nothing's for sure. Titles held up. Gemma comes out at Cream of the Crop, okay? And she's upset. Now, does she have a right to be? Yeah, because technically she didn't lose the championship. I mean, she won the title. It was either the end of June or end of July of 2025. So damn near a 12-month reign as the first Deep South Women's champion in 40 years.
Right.
She came out, had her gripe, which we said before, very, very rightfully so. And then out comes Nathaniel Vanderbilt, the Diablo of Dinero. And you know as well as I do, if there's anybody that has a history with Rose Gold, it's Nathaniel Vanderbilt.
Which is a giant understatement.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The history between those two writes its own story. So he comes out and tells Gemma that he's got something that he agrees with her with, and that's the hatred that they both have for Rose Gold. And Rose wasn't there, but they set it a challenge, an open challenge, an intergender tag team challenge for Beltline Mania day one. Rose Gold has accepted. Here's the kicker, Jeremy. Rose's partner is a mystery opponent, and I promise you, who's available that's not already booked on the damn card.
Yeah, without knowing what night 2 is, which is good that I don't know. I mean, I tried to formulate guesses. As soon as I saw this card earlier and I saw the mystery partner, I was like, okay, who makes sense? Who aligns with her? Who might be a part of this? Honestly, I'll just say this, folks. If you don't see them on that screen, there's a chance that they're that mystery partner because, I mean, and there's a chance that the mystery partner is one of those people on the screen too. They could do double duty that night. We really don't know who it is because, like you said, Gemma and Nathaniel Vanderbilt may share the hatred and the disgust of Rose Gold. They don't necessarily have squeaky clean records either. There are people that want to see their demise. So somebody may easily volunteer and may have called Rose up and said, I want to take him down. I got you.
Isn't that why this is so much fun?
Oh, yeah.
Because I made a post on social media or Instagram, I think it was yesterday or earlier this morning. I said, you never know who's going to show up at a Deep South show. And the fact that this isn't a repeat thing. This is a first ever thing. So you just know the powers that be are going to pull out all the stops. And This being, I believe, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, this being our second show back at New Realm since, you know, the weather was good enough to come back.
Yep.
I wouldn't expect anything bigger than a fan favorite or a huge debut, a huge splash debut that we haven't seen. But look, we'll get to that in a little bit. A little bit. Let's keep reading down the card. This one we talked about. Aaron and Rembrandt possibly being a show stealer, along with a few other matches.
Yeah.
This one, listen, okay, Dre the Goat, Deion Summers, who returned from an injury earlier this year at Monday Night Garage.
Yep.
I believe he returned at Cast the Die. Maybe it was Crimson Mask, one or the other. And taking on the legitimate returning, have not seen the BBC Tyson Maddox in a Deep South ring, maybe in a calendar year, Jeremy? Maybe more?
At least. I feel like it was last time I remember seeing him. I mean, I could have missed one, but last time I remember seeing the Brawlic there, I think it was before New Realm. I
Yeah, I was
believe
going to say,
was the
was it
last
Das
time I saw
Barbecue?
him. Yeah, I'm thinking it was a DOS
Yeah,
barbecue show
yeah, yeah.
because he was kind of not getting along with management very well, and they were having some disagreements on contracts and things. And
Yeah.
I think he took that giant hiatus, and here he is back, and he looks twice the size he was.
Well, and you know, in his defense, and I guess management's defense as well, at that period of time, Tyson was going back and forth from Japan.
Yes.
He was the first ever African American Yokohama Street, believe it was Yokohama Street 6-man tag team champion for Big Japan Pro Wrestling, which is freaking,
Yep.
you know, all puns intended, which is just freaking huge.
Yes.
So we
Yeah,
got,
you just don't see that a lot over there yet. That's not really a wall that's been broken so much. So for him to go over there and to get that vote of confidence and show them that he can be a champion and lead their company, I mean,
yeah.
that just tells you how big this guy really is.
Well, and you know as well as I do, as well as everybody, easy for me to say, every living human, we age, we get older.
Yes.
Tyson, he's obviously older than the last time we saw him at Das Barbecue, but my fucking God, dude, does he just keep getting more athletic as it's kind of like fine wine. I'm not comparing him to LeBron James because that's just not fair to LeBron or anybody to be compared to LeBron James, but
Yeah.
his vertical gets higher, his bench press gets heavier. You know, he today, I believe it was like at 9 a.m. and he'd posted that he's already eaten 111 grams of protein.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I think at that time I barely had 110 minutes of sleep.
So listen to you. And to round out the card, remember this isn't no specific order, you know, from opening match to main event, but this one I'm really excited about as well. Again, another return. I believe first time back in Deep South in 2026. He's real. He's raw. He's the fucking international draw. He is August Artois. Jeremy, you talk about somebody that fucking gets it. You talk about somebody that is probably one of the best at their jobs in the world. It's him. And again, I'm not blowing smoke or sucking anyone's ass, but his resume and his short tenure in this business speaks for itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Argus Artois, just anytime he shows up, you're going to get a show. He's very interactive.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if you are within an arm's length of him, there is a chance you are going to be a part of his match, good, bad, or indifferent, depending on how you look at it. I have been a part of his many times just because I happen to be usually close to the ring. But he kind of drew an interesting matchup too because Quattro Cabeza is no walk in the park. He is
No,
gonna
no,
wear
not at
August
all.
out, and he's gonna try to keep him as under wraps as possible.
Quattro, a wily veteran, a fan favorite.
Yes.
You know, I'm biased. I love the man. I mean, August, I don't get to see much, but, and I don't get to see Quattro that much either, but when I do see him, he's always a joy to be around. I'm excited for this one. We can talk about that in just a moment, but I want to circle back up and we'll start from the top of the card and just have a quick discussion. I don't
Yep.
think it's quite fair to do to do predictions just because I'll be in the broadcast booth. I don't not necessarily
Right.
kind of something that I feel that's kind of kosher or something that I should be doing. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
usually if it's one that I'm there to report on most of the time, if you ask me at the show who would you like to win or who do you think's going to win, I might tell you. But as far as official predictions, yeah, if I'm in the media, I'd stay out of that too.
Yeah, no, and believe it or not, some of these guys are my friends, so
Yeah,
I don't want
that
any,
too.
I don't want any
That
feedback
too.
or any fallback. You know what I mean? But fuck them. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. Um, so I know I've said it a few times, but I want to say it again. This one I'm really, really excited about. I love first timers. I love debuts. As far as shock value, as far as, like, holy shit, I can't believe this is finally happening. Holy shit, I can't believe it took this long. Jeremy, we're gonna get
Yeah.
Carly Bravo inside a Deep South ring. He claims, which I don't disagree with the claims. There's a few other people who claim it too. One we'll talk about hopefully tomorrow when we get the official release for card two. But right now
Right.
we'll keep it tight with this one. Bad news and tattoos. Carly
Yep.
Bravo once again coming to Deep South Wrestling. Now it's exciting. It's really cool. But again, we talk about drawing the short end of the stick and talk about drawing somebody who continuously has that chip on their shoulder and has something to prove. That's Austin Towers. What do you think about this matchup, Jeremy?
Absolutely. I'll get to Carly in a second because obviously a lot of people like to start with Carly. I'm going to start with Austin Towers. I think they honestly both have something in common, and this is not some. This is actually a shoot. I think the fact that it took both of them as long as it did to get into Deep South, I think is a travesty. Uh, Towers had to basically muscle his way in, and Carly's found a way in now. I think they should have been in Deep South a long time ago. That's no shot at nobody. I just think that it's that tough to get in. But Towers is one, even when that number one contender tournament was just getting started. I looked at many of people that I knew and I said, if I'm legit picking this tournament, Austin Towers has got to be a favorite.
Yeah,
How is he not? Look at
100%.
the size. Look at everything he does. How does he not scream, I should be the world champion? And then he's against Bad News and Tattoos, Carly Bravo, as you said, 1/3 of the Ring of Honor six-man tag champions. He is regularly seen on their parent company in AEW. Um, he is all over the place. I just saw him take on Elijah Drago like 2 weekends
Oh,
ago.
real quick,
I
let's
mean,
give a shout out to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Isn't Carly
yes,
Bravo also the current Georgia Wrestling Crown? What do they call it? The Wrestling Crown champion or the Georgia Wrestling Crown? It's
G
GWC, right?
GWC, I believe.
Georgia Wrestling Crown
I don't have my
champion.
notes in front of me, but yeah,
Yeah, but shout out to those guys
yes.
because you saw the Drago match. Who was it before Drago? Was that because the Drago was his second match?
Yes.
Can't remember who the
Um,
first one was. Oh, it was August Artois.
what? Oh,
Yeah,
I gotta find that video. I
yeah.
gotta find that video. I
The
didn't know.
AWE's first show back was the main event was Carly
Harley
Bravo
in August.
in August. Yeah, the promo that Carly dropped prior to that. I mean, mind you, even August kind of called him out. Mind you, it was quite long, but it wasn't repetitive. It was to the
No.
point. And another point, he threw some jabs, but didn't have to name any names, but you knew who he was
Nope.
talking about. Didn't put him down or anything like that. I mean, kind of did it in a promo kind of way, but um, I anyways, so Carly Bravo, top contender here in the state of Georgia. He's taking on Austin Towers. Next, we've got, like we spoke about, Aaron Dallas and Ryan Rembrandt. Now, this one, I honestly, if I were to be forced to call this one, there's just no way I would be able to do that because both so good in the ring. We talk about Tyson Maddox getting bigger every time we see him. Aaron Dallas, geez, he gets, bigger every time we see him as well.
Yep.
Going to be a tough test though for him with Ryan Rembrandt.
Yes, it absolutely is. When you talk Ryan Rembrandt, whether you like him or not, and most people don't, which is fine. It's you're up to you to do that. He does like to look at his reflection maybe a little more than most. But if I look like that, I would probably look in mirrors a lot more often too. Um, and just because of his athleticism, it's really hard to compete with him the way he goes through matches. He can kind of wear you out without running you around. On the flip side of that, as you said, the emerging, budding Georgia wrestling star that is Aaron Dallas, and very soon Ethan Dallas coming back as well, as you said. Um, that kid just gets better every time I see him. I've never seen him regress. He gets bigger, uh, batter. Just seems like he's adding something, a different club to the bag every time. And he's one that if Ryan tries to wear him out, he may be really tough to wear out because of his cardio and his physique. So if you want to see two athletic, young up and coming stars in the Georgia wrestling scene, this is the match.
For sure. One thing I will say about this one, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a time limit if this one goes
Yeah.
the distance. Now, we've spoke a little bit in length already about the intergender matchup, Rose Gold,
Mm-hmm.
mystery opponent taking on Jimmy Jules and Nathaniel Vanderbilt. I'm not too sure if there's much to be left said about that. So we'll move on and we'll talk
Well,
about,
I
you got
will
something to
say because
say?
we didn't talk about him much, and I have been singing his praises a lot, even though I don't necessarily agree with his attitude sometimes. Nathaniel Vanderbilt is one of the most underrated
Yeah,
workers in this business.
he's on his way.
What he can go with anybody and about any style in any match you can come up with, and just what he's doing right now on the mic and with everything he's doing is just shades of greatness. If he keeps up on this, we're going to be saying his name a lot higher on a card.
So yeah, like I couldn't agree more. Every time I see him, I feel that he gets better and better. Now we've got Dre the Goat coming
Yep.
off of a massive upset back at Cast the Die when Alex Kane picked Najacism's Poison and Dre the Goat got a 1-2-3 pinfall victory, non-title victory over the Hoochie Daddy Najacism. Returning from a shoulder injury, Dion Summers, who just finished an absolute war with Austin Towers, and the BBC Tyson Maddox coming back. I for one think this is three completely different styles, and I have
Yes.
no idea what to expect.
To kind of put it in perspective for people, I'll use TV names so that they kind of get it. And in no way am I comparing who I'm going to say, but their styles, if you're kind of figuring out, like if you've never seen Dre the Goat, easiest example that's out right now is I would say he's a little Javon Evans and a little Kofi Kingston. That's kind
Fantastic.
of the style
Incredible
you're going to get.
comparison.
He's real all over the place. I mean, in a good way, all over the place. You never know where the attack's going to come from. Usually aerial. With the Brawlic, I mean, he's actually more athletic than the person I'm going to say, but we're talking like Mark Henry. We're talking he's just a massive human
Yeah.
being, but he's got the athleticism. Well, here we go. He's a hot name right now. Not quite as tall, Obafemi. Highly athletic, just muscles on top of muscles. That's the Brawlic for sure. And Dion Summers, he's a hard one. I would almost say Kofi with him too, but when I said Kofi on the other one,
Dion's got Kofi's charisma.
he does. And I would almost say maybe a little Osprey in there.
Okay. I don't think Summers is going to hate that.
Maybe, but he's young.
I don't think
so,
Dion's
but
going
I
to
mean,
hate that comparison, Jeremy. I don't think
no,
he's
he's
going to hate
probably
that
not. He's
comparison
probably
at
going to
all.
offer me a hamburger or something, which is fine. I do take that as payment.
All right.
But
And last and certainly not least, we got about less than
no.
5 minutes to go before this thing knocks us out of here. Quattro Cabeza, August Artois. We know for a fact August is going to put on a show. We know he's going to entertain us. And believe it or not, he's a more technical in that ring than you really kind of want to you pay attention to because of how much of the outside antics that he brings, which is so fucking entertaining. But Quattro,
Yeah.
he's just as good inside that ring. This could be another one of those potential show stealers.
Yeah. Once again, just to like August is August. There is only one of those for a reason. I'm pretty sure when they made August Artois, they took a month and a half off and tried to figure out where they messed up because he's such a great talent. He has his attitude and his demeanor is all his own. I can compare it to people, but at the same time, he's not like any of the people I'm going to compare him to.
Okay.
He just straight up gets it. So I'm not going to really throw in. I mean, the name that came to mind immediately is Brian Pillman, but their demeanors are completely different.
I
Like,
mean, that Jeremy, that's a much better comparison than you're giving yourself credit for. You talk about both dudes that really fucking get it. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
rest in peace, Pillman. He got it, and
yeah,
August gets it. And I don't know if you know this. Out of all of the incredible now millionaires who held the Florida International Pro Wrestling Heavyweight
oh,
title, August
I
is
know
the
where you're going.
longest reigning FIPW champion till this
Yep,
day. And that's something that he really holds his hat on, which he should.
yeah,
Wonder if he'll ever be at Deep South with that to defend. But Jeremy, I think that we ran down this card. I'll show everybody one more time. We ran down the card probably better than we thought that we could. There you see it. Carly Bravo taking on Austin Towers. Aaron Dallas, Ryan Rembrandt for the New Realm title. Cosmo Martinez, Lamar Diggs. Intergender tag match. Rose Gold and a mystery opponent taking on Gemma Jules and Nathaniel Vanderbilt.
yep.
Dre the Goat, Deion Summers, Tyson Maddox, triple threat match. And of course, Quattro Cabeza taking on August Artois. Jeremy, dude, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm hoping that this is the first of many, and just to give everybody a quick preview, maybe I think we talked about it before. If the powers that be do release release the card tomorrow, Jeremy and I are gonna hop back on here and run down the card for day 2, which might be just as good, if not better, than day 1. Jeremy, dude, again, thank you so much for jumping on RASSLIN down here. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
Absolutely. And I know we got a few seconds. I'll just leave it with people that if you didn't see one of your regular favorites from Deep South on night 1, just imagine you might see them on the next card. That should be your teaser.
Night 1, New Realm Brewing on the Beltline, bell time 4 p.m. ish. Sunday, day 2, Monday Night Garage, bell time 2 p.m. ish. Be there, be square. For Drewski and the Impact, Jeremy York, this is RASSLIN down here. Hope to see everybody on the patio Saturday. I think I speak for Jeremy as well. Everyone, have a great rest of your week. Peace.